Alright, welcome to my channel. My name is Captain Crush. I'll be your host for the next 15 or so minutes. I'm glad you stopped by. What do I do here? I cover PrizePicks, Underdog Fantasy, Thrive Fantasy, and more. DraftKings, FanDuel, anything and everything regarding fantasy sports, I cover it. What I do is my goal is to make you into a better fantasy sports player all around on all of those sites. That is my job, okay? There's a process to this. There is a right and wrong way to do things. I can't guarantee that you win every night. Nobody can, and if they say that, they're full of it. But what I can guarantee is that if you watch these videos every day, you tune into my live streams, I will make you a better player. It's that simple. This is your first step in your new process. That being said, let's go ahead and cover these two games. Boston versus 76ers, 2.5 point spread favoring the Celtics, must-win game, over under 212.5. Not a great total for fantasy, but it is what it is. Denver Nuggets, Phoenix Suns, -3 favoring the Suns, over under 226. This should be the game of the night. Let's hope both of these games go off and we can get some decent value. That being said, let's go over to Thrive Fantasy, as always, where I do my 2 and 3 man. Kevin Durant is a special promotion today that all users are getting called Slash the Prop. His PRA is discounted by 2 or 3 points. 44.5 PRA, take more. Jaylen Brown, 30.5 points, rebounds, take more. Nikola Jokic, 42.5 points, rebounds, take more. Here's the deal. Use promo code CRUSH. You'll get a 100% deposit match up to 250. So that means you deposit 250, you get 500, 250 of which will be bonus funds. You will also get a Jokic free square. So you could take this out and put in that free square and literally get 5.2x on it. Okay, so you get the discount, the free square, and Jaylen Brown. All right, that is Thrive Fantasy. Now let's go over to PrizePicks, where I discuss these fantasy scores. All right, first up, we got Jason Tatum, 52 fantasy points. Cap, that's a huge number. It's always a huge number when you're targeting Jason Tatum, but check this out. 59.5, 67, 51, 20. That was when he had foul trouble. 64. Okay, the man has a 65 to 70 point ceiling. It's a must-win game for them. The math is telling me, just like last time, I said this last time we were in this situation, the mathematically, it's telling us to go under. But sometime, the captain, others, yourself, you have to come in there and you have to think, all right, the math says to go this way, but what does your gut say? What does the narrative say? What do the trends say? And overall, just the way things are going to go as far as what's going to happen more often than not. The under's probably going to hit more often than not, to be 100% honest. But we know that this is a must-win game. So you can either fade the prop, or for me personally, the captain's corner, the captain's crush, I am just going to take more and fade the math. What? Fade the math. I know it's insane, but I will do it just like I did last time because I'm counting on Jason Tatum that if they win this game, it's going to be because of Tatum, period. It's just, that's how it's going to be, unless Jaylen Brown, the masked man, steps up, which I don't think he will, okay? Joel Embiid, 54 fantasy points. I'm just taking the over. It's too low for the MVP. It is what it is. I will cover the fantasy points and usage rates right now. Okay, here I have pulled up the usage rates and the fantasy points per minute. Tatum, 1.33 fantasy points per minute with a 32% usage rate, which is absolutely massive. Joel Embiid, 1.65 fantasy points per minute with a 37% usage rate. Harden, 1.33 fantasy points per minute with a 25% usage rate. Jaylen Brown, 1.21, 31% usage. Maxey Harris and so forth. I'm not going to target them. I will be targeting Marcus Smart, 0.89 fantasy points per minute, 17% usage rate. Okay, we will go back to that later. But for now, these two are my heavy hitters. I'm taking more on both. I will play whatever happens. I'm not afraid to roll dice. And neither should you, fam. You just shouldn't be. If you're afraid to lose here, this is not the hobby for you, okay? Because you're going to lose 3 out of 5 nights. Those 2 nights you win, it covers everything that you lost and then some if you're doing it correctly. You cannot think you're going to win every night, and you can't be afraid to lose every night. You just can't, because if you are, this is going to drive you insane. You don't have the emotion for it, okay? Next, Marcus Smart, more, 26.5 fantasy score. The math actually favors this to go more. Same thing with Joel Embiid. Both of these are favored to hit more via math, which is always good. Whenever you're on the right side of the math, you can always feel comfortable about it, because whatever happens, you made the right play, and that is what is most important in this whole thing. This whole thing is important, making the right decisions day in, day out. Next, James Harden, 43.5 fantasy points, more. The math favors that as well, so we will take that and hope the beard does his thing, gets a few assists, gets a couple rebounds, a steal, a block here and there, and most of all, let's hopefully he can score and knock down some 3-pointers tonight and get to the free throw line, okay? Tyrese Maxey, I'm not going to go there tonight. I don't hate it if you do, but I personally am not taking his over. over. I'm not taking his under. I will fade the prop. Tobias Harris, his fantasy score should be at around 23.5 fantasy points, but right now they have it at a cool 26.5. I will fade this prop. Malcolm Brogdon, 25.5. If you want to go here, you can. I'm personally not going to go there. I do have a prop that I like for Malcolm Brogdon, which I will discuss later, but I am not going to take his fantasy. These are the 4 guys that I'm going to be sticking with. It's just going to be stud, 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 and then a Marcus scrub-a-dub-dub, but maybe he gets a few blocks and steals, gets a few points. I'm thinking Marcus Smart can get 12 points, 5 assists, maybe a rebound or 2, and maybe 2 steals. Can you do that for the boys, for the soldiers? Because if you do, you'll go over 26.5 fantasy points, and we'll be very, very great. So that's where I'm going there. You don't have to tail everything I put in here, folks. All I'm doing is breaking this down for what I'm doing. At the end of the day, and at the day's end, it's always going to be up to you to decide where you go, what you do. I'm just here to point you on the right direction, captain the ship. That's it. I know I didn't really cover the masked man, Jaylen Brown, 38.5 fantasy points. A lot of you guys think like this, and this logic is broken. It's a must-win playoff game. I'm just going to target the studs, and when I do, it's that simple because it's just going to target the... No, it doesn't work like that. If it did, we'd all be millionaires, okay? The math is the math. And then you can go with a little bit of narrative like I did last night with Jordan Poole. Called my shot. Jordan Poole over 9.5 real points. Cash it. Narrative street. There's no narrative with Jaylen Brown other than the fact that he was ice cold in the 4th quarter. If you want to take the man's fantasy score, I won't begrudge you if you want to go over. But for me, the math says to take under, but I'm just going to fade the prop because I don't want to deal with the math. I may take his points. I'm not sure yet. I'll discuss that later on the live stream, which we do every single day. All right, so I covered the first game fantasy scores. Let's go take a look at the late night hammer. Devin Booker, KD, must win. Yes, that checks it. Narrative, they got beat bad last time. Check that box. KD, the math on both of these gentlemen is favored. I expect Devin Booker's fantasy point line to be bumped to 52.5. I'm hoping, I'm praying, I'm on my knees asking God, please don't bump these lines before I get this video out. I'm begging you. So, Devin Booker, more 51.5 fantasy score. KD, more 54 fantasy score. Let's go ahead and check the numbers. Okay, as you can see here, Devin Booker, 1.27 fantasy points per minute with a massive usage rate of 31%. KD, 1.37 fantasy points per minute with a 29% usage rate. It's still good. The rest of these guys, Jamal Murray, 1.13, 26% usage rate. I have another prop for him. Jokic, 1.75 fantasy points per minute, 27% usage rate. And then Ayton, 1.17 with a 23% usage rate. All right, this is the deal, guys. Jamal Murray, I like another prop. If you want to take his fantasy score, I don't hate it, but I'm taking a different prop here. As you can see, he's been doing pretty good. He has a ceiling of 50. Joker, where's Joker at? 62 fantasy points. I took more last time and everyone thought I was crazy because it's an absurd number, but he is the Joker. He does Joker-like things. MVP number 2, the true MVP if you ask me. So I will never tell you not to take more on Joker right now. Before, it was I could make a argument and a case to take the under some nights, but right now he's undeniable. I cannot advocate taking the under. If you don't want to take more here, just fade the prop. I don't hate it, but I am definitely taking the over on these two gentlemen here, Durant and Booker. I expect big things. Don't let me down. Ayton, he Uno reversed us last time. I told you guys. I warned everybody. I said, Ayton's been playing bad. Red, and then boom. Uno reverse when they lowered his fantasy score all the way down. He was due for a bounce back game. He absolutely stayed out of foul trouble. I said, if he plays 30 minutes, he's going to crush that tag. And you better believe he played 30 minutes and he crushed that tag, okay? But tonight, I don't hate taking less. The math says take less. I will go back and take the less because I think that one game he had was an outlier. I think he's going to go back to his average. I think he's going to have a mid game. Yes, mid. What is mid? It means medium. It means mild. It means not that good. It means average. So I'll take less here. And then I will continue to take more there. And then we talked about Murray. I don't mind it, but I have a better prop for him in mind, which I will talk about soon. And the Joker can always take more. So your job. What's your job, soldiers? You mix and match which ones I just went over and you take your favorites and go there. And if you see something that you like that I didn't cover, guess what? Plug him in. Don't always take what I say as doctrine, okay? You are a human. You have your own brain. Compare what I say to what you think, and that's how you become the best player you can be, by taking all forms of advice and everything and putting it all together and coming up with your own process. This is just the first step in your process. Listening to Captain Crush. All right. Now, everyone's favorite part of the show where I go over the other stats / props that I like to talk about. Let's see what we got. I will go over to my notes. All right. And I have about 6 or 7 props that I want to talk about here. Where are they at? All right. Here we go. Melt under 7.5 points, 54% chance to hit, -140. My model, okay, this is big. My model projects him for 7.7. Now, you can say, Captain, well, your model's projecting it to go over. Listen, the model isn't an exact science. It's literally just a projection. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong. It's more often right than it is wrong. But so what happens is a model's just a model. Any random animal can look at a model and tell you what to do. It's being able to interpret the data. That is key, and that is where someone like me comes in, and I will help navigate you through this swamp we call PrizePicks, okay? So I'm sticking with my guns, Melton under 7.5 because the Vegas likes it as 54% chance to hit to go under. Even though the model likes it to go a little bit over by 0.2, I will still take the under. Again, I posted that here. I'm not trying to hide anything. I will always show you the model projections when I can. It'll be mainly for my Discord, but for now, until that launches, I will show this here, okay? Second, Murray over 6 assists, -130. The books have it at 6.5. He's projected in my model for 7. So last time he got 6 assists, we took more at 6.5. He hooked us. Tonight, he's at 6. We don't have to deal with that 0.5 hook. So worst case, he should probably push. My model has him projected for 7, and it's a 53% chance to hit. Okay. So, well, unfortunately, as you can see, I got caught with a bad bag because D'Anthony Melton has been bumped down to 7 points, and I am not liking that. I don't like that one bit. I had it at 7.5, and now he's been bumped down to 7. I thought I prayed and begged for the scores not to be touched, the lines not to be moved until I literally finish this video. But it is what it is. I move as fast as I can. I'm only one man. I'm a one-man show. I record, I research, I edit all by myself. I'm a lone gun, a lone wolf. Okay. So I still like the under there. He still needs 8 to beat us. I mean, yeah, he can push more often now than not, but whatever, we'll take it. All right. Bruce Brown. Let's talk about Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown over or under 14.5 points rebounds. The other night, I got this at 13, and I believe we took more, and it hit. I can't remember. Maybe it was 12.5, but it's back now to the OG line of 14.5. I am taking less. It's mathematically projected to go over 53% of the time. -130. My model has him at 12.6. That's almost a 2-point discrepancy. It is like 1.9. So we will take the under there, and we will pray that it holds. Kevin Durant, over 5.5 assists, 53% chance to hit, -140. He's projected for 5 via my model. Okay, he's projected for 5. Now, again, what did I say? Oh my goodness, fam. This is happening in real time. They bumped it to 6. Guess what? Fade. Now I know that I'm just taking his fantasy score. Okay, again, it stinks when they bump him here. It is what it is. We're along. Malcolm Brogdon, over 3.5 rebounds. Please don't be bumped. It's not. I had this last time. He got 3. He sold by that hook. We got hooked, but he's projected for 4.3 rebounds in my model. 53% chance to hit, -135. And I will talk about one more, which is going to be Al Horford, who was all the rage in the media this past weekend with how bad he played. Okay, so the narrative is Al Horford played bad. He's the reason they lost. So you could take Al Horford more, 10.5 points assist. The model has it hitting. The books have this line at 11.5. So we're getting a full point discount. It's 52% chance to hit, -130. I'm not a big fan of Al Horford by any stretch. I honestly will have very little of this prop, but I had to include it because the books have it at 11.5 and we're getting it at 10.5. And whenever I can find value, I will post it for you guys. It stinks that a lot of these, I think there was 2 of them that got bumped. However, it happens. We move on. I'll discuss more via the live stream. I can't give away my whole bag of tricks in one video. The video would be over an hour long, but on top of that, it's just not feasible, fam. All right. Thank you. We discussed PrizePicks, everything that I wanted to talk about. Let's go over to Underdog Fantasy, where we make a fantasy pick'em contest. I already have one here, right here for you guys. Promo code CRUSH gets you 100% deposit match, but also will get you into my Discord as your free month trial as soon as it launches, which we're targeting Monday, okay? Listen, they're having boosted payouts on 3 of these guys, Devin Booker being one, Embiid being another, and I believe it's Tatum is the other one. But, so, you can make multiple contests. You can use Crushonomics method, my method that I've coined, I've patented it. I'm literally waiting for government to coin it and say that that's yours, you did it. I'm joking. They won't do that, but it is my method. If anyone tells you otherwise, they're capped. Okay. Devin Booker, higher, 31.5 real points. Malcolm Brogdon, higher, 3.5 rebounds. Brucey Brownie, lower, 14.5 points rebounds. KD, higher, 54.95 fantasy points. And I threw in an NHL in there. If you want to fade this, I don't mind, but it was too good of value to turn down. I saw it. It was 54% chance to hit. I was like, let me get down on some NHL, even though I have no idea who Mr. Eric hallelujah fam. More, higher, 1.5 shots on goal. Hopefully he slaps that puck like nobody's business. But if you want just an NBA sweat, get rid of him. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll get the boosted payout. And guess what? We will crush. Promo code crush. Okay. One last thing I want to do. Check the insights on Outlier Bet. All right. So here we are in Outlier Bet. Here are the insights that I go over every single day, just like a newspaper. I scroll through them and I read them. Jokic has failed to exceed 23.5 rebounds plus assists in 18 of his last 20 games on the road after a win. Now, can you go through and find this information on your own? Absolutely. All the information's there for everyone to find on their own. But why do that when you can literally have this in a nice, neat spot right here for you? There it is. It's nice and easy. Go through here. This will help you with your FanDuel, your DraftKings, your normal sports books bets, etc. Okay, then they have a prop section, NBA, MLB, NHL. You can go through here and you can find all the value, fam. Look at this. Cameron Payne, under 1.5 threes, minus 184. It may not be on PrizePicks or Underdog, but it will be on FanDuel and DraftKings, which are also available in most states. Unfortunately, not mine, or we would be covering it. Okay, but there's a lot on here. Malcolm Brogdon, under 0.5 steals, minus 125. We literally covered that. I'm not sure if it's on the board, but we covered that last time it hit for us. As you can see here, over the last 10, it's showing that he hasn't hit any. So he's literally hit this one in the last 10. How many times? He's hit this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the last 20. Okay, so this I kind of like this prop, but I'm not sure it's on PrizePicks. Okay, I wanted just to show you guys this. I always show you guys this because I always get asked the question, what do you use? Here it is, fam. Outlier Bet. The link is in my bio. It's in the description. Click it. 7-day free trial. After the trial ends, you still want to use it. You still want to not pay because you're cheap. Captain Crush, CPTN Crush code will get you 30 days free. All right. You've reached the end of the video. Congratulations on making it this far. I covered everything that I wanted to cover. I hope you enjoyed it. I try to keep this semi-entertaining with the knowledge as best as I can do. I added in some Giphies for you to get, so maybe it makes it a little bit easier on your eyes. I appreciate you taking the time to watch my stuff. Folks, guys, girls, soldiers, you're not going to win every single night, people. It's just impossible to happen. Lines are going to be bumped. They move to follow the money. These are human beings that we're talking about. They will do stuff that we can't predict. We only can project. Okay, we cannot predict. We can only project. That is a huge difference. Yeah, the key is just like any stock market. The key is looking at the projection, finding the trends, looking at the narrative. Most importantly, checking out what Vegas has to say. Those 4 things. And then the 5th thing is having someone like me to interpret all that for you. So the working man and woman, you guys can go about your day, tune into this video. I break it all down and I do it, all that stuff for you. But I do teach you how to do it for yourself. So when I'm not around, whenever I'm busy, whatever, you can do it yourself. And that way you can compare the two. And then I just become think of me as a mentor, your guiding hand in this hobby that we love. Okay. I will be going live on TikTok later today, as always. One last thing. People have been asking for merchandise. I'm working on that. I'm going to do it because I don't do it. I'm not going to do it to make a profit, but I think that it would be cool to have brand recognition with merchandise. I even myself want my own stuff to wear on these videos/streams. So I will get that done. I have to find somebody who can do it quality the way I want it. Okay. Again, I say this all the time. Bankroll management. Don't play with what you can't afford to lose. That's the key to everything, okay? Especially in life, too. Don't overextend yourself, all right? So, thank you for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to give me that salute. I appreciate it. Good luck, and let's crush.